Sadness. Just sadness. Hey everyone, welcome to Prince of the Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we're here with episode 9 of Heavenly Delusion. Last episode was like a lot. It just got like really fucking depressing. But it also gave us some notable lore, I'm saying, because it's like it didn't confirm it. There was no like direct confirmation. But how do I put this? The obviousness of it was pretty obvious. I know, redundant, but it felt like it was just kind of in your face with it without actually saying it. Kind of like a show don't tell situation. And it basically was telling us that the doctor was the bowl cut kid from heaven, and that the girl who was, who he was trying to save from the disease, who in the end they had to kill to, truly save and truly put at peace, she was the girl from heaven that we had seen before, the one who bowl cut kid had a picture of in the shower, which we still don't know how he got that or who sent that to him. And I don't remember their names, by the way, so that's why I'm calling them bowl cut kid and the other girl. uh, but we get this information because at the end, after the girl dies and the doctor ends up committing suicide because of his love for her, and he just can't live in a world without her, which already is fucking depressing. It shows the girl from heaven wandering around this dark area when suddenly someone joins her. She's scared, she's alone, and then someone comes and grabs her hand and gives her comfort. And it's like, it's very obviously the bowl cut kid because he's the one she has the most connection with from heaven. But like, why would they show a scene like that after their death? It just makes sense that they would be the same people. And then it continues and ends up showing a scene like of the girl like back in heaven talking to Tokyo and talking about like being happy and whatnot. I feel pretty clear what's going on here. Heaven, as we've seen it, is in the past. I don't know exactly how far in the past, but based on the doctor's perceived age, based on his appearance, it has to be a notable amount of time in the past. Granted, he could look older than he is, but I'm thinking that heaven probably existed before the world went to shit, before the post-apocalyptic situation happened. I don't know how long before. Maybe it coincides in some way, but still. And now it's clear that heaven as we know it is probably not there anymore. If these other characters from there are now in the world and just like in very random places, maybe I feel like it's very possible that heaven, which Maru has been searching for, is just not there anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. And so that's really curious to me, because that was something that I hadn't even considered before. And with the other revelation that all of the man-eaters used to be people, and that it's this disease that we've seen before. We've seen it in heaven. It's this disease that causes people to turn into man-eaters. And that's why, like, Tararu, or whatever the fuck the kid's name was, after they burned the body, had the stone thing inside. That explains that. That was whatever was causing it. And apparently, even if you cut it out of the body, it just continues to regrow. Which is, why the girl ended up like with no limbs and shit and in such a bad condition in the modern day. Because the doctor was trying to uh, like cut it out of her, trying to get rid of what was causing her illness. Wasn't working, but he was trying because he loved her. And we definitely know she loved him too. But with all these revelations, like we also have like the theories that like the man eaters we've seen up to this point have probably been others from heaven, or at least could have been. Maybe not all of them, but at least some of them. The fish in like episodes 2 and 3, or I guess 2 and 4, because 3 was just a flashback, right? I think. No, maybe it was half flashback. I don't remember. But the fish one, when they were on the boat, the fish man eater, was like clinging to walls and crawling along walls in the same way that the frog girl from heaven was, when she and Tokyo went to the nursery and saw the babies. And so it's like, could that have actually been her? It's very possible. And it's just at this point, like, I'm questioning a lot of things. We're getting these heavy bits of information. And on top of that, we found out that Robin apparently worked with the doctor at a time. And that Robin himself is kind of a doctor as well. And that's like a big lead. I mean, he disappeared. They don't know where he went, but he was working with the doctor. And that's a massive lead. That's huge. We know that he has been around this area. And mind you, this isn't the doctor still that that put Kiriko in, his sister's body and everything. But it's still a lead to at least one person that he's looking for. Again, being Robin. And if they find Robin, maybe Kiriko and Maru can also find the doctor that way. It's possible. So, last episode was huge. It was like exceptionally important to the story. It was emotional as fuck. And it gave us like a lot of information with, again, not actually explicitly stating it, but kind of just heavy implication that feels like intentional, just show, don't tell. We might get more official confirmation as this goes on. I don't know. But we will see. Either way, we're going to get today's episode started and just see what we have in store. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I feel like I feel like the same episode I made that theory is like it gets almost instantly vindicated, because the fact that we find out that the reason Tokyo was taken away is because she's pregnant, and the fact that this is apparently such a crisis for Takahara Academy, which I'll probably mostly continue to call heaven. Like, there's definitely something going on here. And again, considering the fact that they never taught them about, love, sex, gender, all of that, I'm thinking that they were trying to avoid them specifically having kids. Probably because of the fucking experiments they're seemingly running on them. And this is wild. So Tokyo is pregnant, and it's got to be Maru because that's my theory. Because of the timeline, that like kind of matches up, right? So it's like Maru has to be the child of Tokyo and Kona. And now he's searching for heaven again. He's searching for Takahata Academy, which they've found a massive like lead on. They found one of the buildings, one of the locations. Not one of the facilities, which as we know is I guess there's two of them and one of them is the one we've been following. So the fact that there was a second one is wild as well. um huh. And on top of that, we have the fact that Mimihime can for some reason see like the remnant, the like a physical remnant of Asura still in the sky of the dome, which means like Asura was like saying like they figured out like what they were there to do, and then they committed suicide. But I don't think it was just about the suicide. They did something with their suicide, and that's why they could still be seen in the sky, and that's why Mimihime or by Mimihime. But Shiro, who we know is the doctor from before, he couldn't see it. So Mimihime was definitely special in that regard, which leads to, all these kids having some level of power. I mean, we saw Asura could heal people and do a bunch of other crazy shit. It's just like, what the fuck? And although, like, that guy was, like, bullshitting about a lot of stuff, it seems like maybe he had some knowledge of this place, and that was, like, where he was, like, creating and fabricating this story based on. Because he's talking about it, like, being run by women, like, being like, kind of this matriarchal society. And we know the director's a woman. We know, like, there's this robot that is very feminine in nature. And apparently like she's even promoting this other doctor, this female doctor, ahead of the others who I guess like worked harder for it or something. I don't know. Who are supposed to be next in line. So I think there's like a kernel of truth in what he was saying. He had like maybe found out some knowledge about this, but like most of his story was obviously false. Like the boars and everything, we know they didn't do that. And the fact that they didn't accept boys into into the academy, we also know was absolute bullshit. Huh. It's it's really interesting. Because there's all of this like depth being given, all of these like mysteries that are starting to get answered, but we're only starting to get stuff. We're not getting everything yet. And it's just, I don't know. So we know, we can pretty much very strongly say that Maru is 90% sure to be Tokyo and Kona's kid. Like, I would say that is pretty strong evidence that we got in this episode. Which, and when we saw that Shiro and Mimihime had come out into the world and they were, she had fallen to the disease. He was, acting as a doctor out here trying to save her, even though he otherwise wasn't really much of a doctor. but he was just doing this all to save her. And it's more than likely that these man-eaters, since we know they used to be human, that at least some of them used to be kids from the academy as well. Such as, again, I keep bringing up the fish and the frog girl because of the similar crawling along the walls kind of thing. Though we technically don't have any confirmation on that, I feel it's very, very likely. But then I'm wondering if Robin or the Doctor were from heaven too. Because those are two very important characters that we just don't know enough about yet. And considering everything we're learning and how all of this is connecting, it's very possible. Thinking about their ages, Robin would have been very young. He could have possibly been one of the kids. But we know Robin's name, like his full name too. So if he was one of the kids, he would have had to either have changed his name, because none of the kids there were named Robin, or it's just a kid we didn't know the name of, which is also possible. The Doctor would have to have been older, because he's older now. He was even older back when, like, you know, he did the surgery and everything. He would have to have been an adult then. So he would have had to have been one of the... Is he the Doctor with the glasses? The one who was, like, pissed over being passed over for the promotion? He's gotta be, right? Unless he's just not... He's either... If he is from the Academy, if we're going under that assumption, we know he's a doctor, and we know that guy, the guy with the glasses, because he has glasses too, right? And, I mean, he has, like, the short, like, chopped hairstyle, but, like, he could change his hairstyle. People can change their hairstyle. Shiro had a very different hairstyle. If he is the Doctor from that, I could see that being the case. Like, I feel like that would make sense. Because, like, his experimental surgery that caused, you know, like, a brother being implanted, his brain being implanted into his sister's body, I feel like that is fully possible to have happened. Or to, like, that kind of, like, knowledge and type of medical science could have been existing within the walls of Takahata Academy, based on what we know of it. That would make sense. I feel like that tracks with what he did with Kiriko and all. And obviously, after this time, the director would be dead, but the new assistant director, I can't remember her name, like Asayama or something like that, she could definitely still be alive. I just have so many questions. And this still obviously raises the question of if and where Tokyo and Kona are still alive, and, like, did either of them get the disease? Did either of them, like, turn? Maybe we've seen one of them, and that's always possible. We've seen enough of these man-eaters at this point. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. It's, again, this is clearly a series that is planting these breadcrumbs on purpose. It wants us to theory craft. It's a mystery series that is intentionally leading the trail for us. And there's some people I think would, like, complain about that, and it's like, oh, we should try to figure everything out ourselves instead of the show itself giving us all of these hints. And for me, it's just like, no, please give me hints. Because otherwise, I will not pick up on things. I can be pretty oblivious to shit at times, so giving me these hints does help me figure things out. But I feel like I feel like it has to be like all of these theories I'm having have to be right, considering again the entire Maru theory with him being like Tokyo and Kona's kid. That's pretty much confirmed, right? Like I'm not the only one who like sees it that way. And the Mimihime and Shiro stuff, that's practically confirmed. Again, they showed, but they didn't tell. They didn't have to directly say it, but everything they showed us basically confirmed it. It's just like, this is such a fascinating series for so many reasons. And I want to know like the exact reasons why they like are so like scared and why it's such a crisis for them to be having kids. Because I feel like it's more than just like, oh, it like messes up their plans. I feel like it's dangerous. It's like actively a bad thing. Because they seemed like the director seemed very freaked out by this. Like it was like a really big deal, and like more so than like, oh, it just messes up our plans and our studies. No, it was too big of a freak out for something like that. It was more like the experiments they're doing on them causes this to be bad. And it's either because like maybe it's like not supposed to be able to happen like safely because of these experiments. Maybe it's like extremely dangerous for the birthing parent to carry a child. Maybe it's the case of they don't want like another generation to like be born into that because they don't know what will happen. I mean, that's like the more positive view of it, but it's possible. It's just like, what is the exact reason? That's what I'm wondering. And it's like, what is their plan for things too? Because they're like bringing in these kids and everything. It's like, what happens when they grow to adulthood? But we also know, like the previous generation, Kona's generation, didn't. He was the only one left from that generation, especially after Asura died. So, are they like not allowed to live until adulthood? Are they? Do they just always contract? No, but I don't think they always, because before with the other kid, the disease, it seemed like they were surprised by the disease and everything. Like that was like something new to them. And I think a lot of the kids who were there would know if others had contracted disease as well. Because it's like it wasn't kept secret. So after a certain time, they either would have to let them out or kill them, right? Which means that they would literally be raising them for the sake of killing them, which is fucked up in a number of ways. Unless they do release them, but I just don't see that happening. I mean, it's obviously an immoral, like, experimental science study kind of thing. These kids are absolutely lab rats. They're guinea pigs being used for these immoral studies. That much is 100% obvious. But we just don't know the specifics of that. We don't know, like, why this is being done. There are just so many questions about this. This is like really getting good. And I mean, this has been good from the beginning, but this is like really getting good. And I'm really curious to see where this ends up going. I do want to check something. I'm going to be really careful to avoid spoilers here. I just want to see if the manga is still ongoing or if the manga is finished. Heavenly. Oh, actually, I can just see. Is Heavenly Delusion finished. No. Okay, so according to this, it is not done yet. Let me see here. Yeah, it says it started its run in January of 2018 and it is still going. It currently has 11 volumes. And the anime, I don't think there's anything about like a second season. I'm not seeing anything here. Which means that either there's not enough content for a second season yet, or this didn't do well enough, or I don't know, something. But I know this at least is well received by American audiences because I've heard people talk about it. Heavenly Delusion Season 2. Okay, this is saying that it didn't do well in Japan. But I don't know how like accurate that is. That was like a Reddit thread. Okay, I don't want to look up too much because again, I don't want spoilers, but if I'm really worried this is going to end off on a cliffhanger that's never going to get answered. And I'm like that really would fuck me up. But I mean, other shows have taken a while to get like a follow-up, like Durarara took years and years to get a season 2. Dorohedoro is supposedly getting a season 2 this year, but we haven't gotten any follow-up since the announcement. So no news on when or if that is happening still this year. Might be pushed to next year. And that's been a few years since that's been out too. So it's like it's possible that we could still get a season 2. Because I feel like everything's not going to be able to be answered in this season. It's just there. I feel like there's too much still left unclear. But knowing that the manga isn't finished does give me a bit of hope. So, that being said, tell me your thoughts down below. What did you think of this episode? And no spoilers. Do not spoil me on this. This is one of those that, like, more than most other shows I'm reacting to, I do not want spoilers on. Because, I mean, I don't want spoilers on anything, but this one, like, almost kind of more so, just because of the kind of series it is. It's like, I do not want to know anything about, like, the truth of what's going to happen or whatnot. I want to be surprised, and I want to see if my theories pan out. Because, again, I don't normally do theory crafting. But with this series, it like almost feels necessary. It almost feels like the creators want you to. And I'm very invested to see if any of these theories come to light. And what does and what doesn't, and how things go, and yada yada. You get it. So, yeah, thank you all so much as always for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.